And now please welcome to the stage Samuel, son Samuel.
I'm good? Okay, all right. So when I was a kid, I hated going to Macys with my mother. Well, first because Macys has nothing for a 7-year-old, except for the occasionally naked mannequin. It's the with my mother part that I really hated. Because my mother had two beliefs about shopping. The first was that if it was expensive, you haggle. And second, everything was expensive. So she haggled everything. Which was fine back in Korea, where the price tag was really the starting price. I remember all the salespeople, when they saw my mother roll in, they would roll up their sleeves, ready to tussle with my mom because they got kids to feed too. But in America, right, the price tag is final. I mean, there are a couple of exceptions, cars, drywalling. But for the most part, it's final. But she haggled everything. Son, that's way too expensive. Mom, that's a sample. That's free. Oh, then it's too small. She would haggle in Korean, just assuming that everybody was watching, K-drama and New Korean. 너무 비싸다. Too expensive. Or worse, she would use broken English in Korean accent. And some salespeople, they will go I'm sorry, we don't understand what you're saying. Some salespeople will go, this is America, speak English, and snap their gums, invariably snap their gums. And some would laugh at a broken English. See, that's when I should have come flying in to defend my mother. But I didn't. I hid behind those mannequins who are occasionally naked. There was one time when a salesperson got really frustrated and said, can you tell your mom that I cannot change the price? And I looked at her and said, I do not know this woman. Because I was ashamed of my mother tongue and of my mother. I never felt this way when I was in Korea. It was only when I came to America that I started feeling bad about how I looked, how I sounded, how my mom sounded. Back in Korea, Korean language was it. Then I come to America and I think Korean language, it sounds so dumb, and people who speak Korean sound so dumb, and people who speak broken English with Korean accent, they sound so dumb. It took me a long time for me to come to appreciate my mother tongue, its beauty and its musicality. It was the first language. My primary is English now, but my first language was Korean because it showed me the world. It said, that's the sky, 하늘. That's the sea, that's 바다. It was the language in which my mother sang lullabies to me while I was still in her womb. So even before I had ears to hear, Korean language enveloped me. It was only in college when I started reconnecting with my heritage and becoming more proud. And I remember it was Thanksgiving, I think junior in college, talking with mom, catching up. And I tell mom, when I was a kid, I hated going to Macys with you, right? And she goes, I know, but I didn't want to go alone. And I said, Mom, I'm really sorry about that time when I said, I did not know you. And she goes, Mom being mom, there's nothing to forgive. But it was hard for me to accept. I wish I was a braver boy back then. But now that I have my own kids, and I have teenagers who sometimes don't want to be seen with me, and I don't understand that. And I do understand that. So I understand that 7-year-old boy. So I go behind the mannequin, occasionally naked, and I get down on my knees and eye to eye and tell him, it was hard for you too. I understand that. There's nothing to forgive. I call my mom every day. She's in her 80s. She's in New York. And after every conversation, she always ends with 목소리 들어줘서 고맙다. Which you totally understand, right? Because you watch K-drama. It means thank you for letting me hear your voice. Always ends with that. Yeah. And I reply to her, 사랑해, which means I love you, but it also means more than that.
Samuel Sohn, thank you so much.